let's just start from the intro then. And this song is tuned to C, G, C, F, A, D. So if your guitar is currently in standard tuning, you're just going to tune the top string down to D, making it drop D, and then tune everything from there down a full step. Okay, so the intro. You're going to basically make a power chord like formation starting on the 6th fret of the A string, but you're not going to press anything down on your D string. So you're just going to put your index finger on the 6th fret of the A string, and then either your ring finger or your pinky finger, whatever you're most comfortable with, on the 8th fret of the G string. So the first note that you're going to pluck is that string right there, the 8th fret of the G string. And then the 6th fret of the A string, and then open D. Okay, so you're going to play those 3 notes. And then you're going to play them again, but at the end you're going to strike the low D. So that's the first part of the intro. And then it goes like this. So the thing that you just learned, open D, and then power chord, 3rd fret A string, 5th fret D string. You don't need to do the whole power chord like that high note. Sometimes I do power chords just with these 2 strings. Index finger, 3rd fret A string, pinky finger or ring finger, 5th fret D string. And then D again, and then slide it up 2 frets. So the whole thing. So you're going to do that 2 times. In between each note, you're striking the low D. And then the 3rd time, they go from the power chord on the 3rd and 5th to the 5th and 7th to the 6th and 8th, and then back to here. So then it basically goes into the second half of the intro. You're going to want to slide your hand up from that very beginning part, slide it up 2 frets, same formation, just up to the 8th and 10th fret. And you're going to pluck the notes in the same order as the intro. And then you're going to go from there down to here with your index finger on the 5th fret of the B string and your ring finger or pinky finger on the 7th fret of the G string. And you're also going to include the open high D string. So you're going to go from here and then down to that formation I just told you. And you're going to start by plucking the string, the B string on the 5th fret, and then open D, open high D, and then pluck the 7th fret of the G string. So, and then you're going to do the exact same thing again, but you're just going to change the order in which you pluck these strings. The second time you do it, you're going to start with the 7th fret of the G string, and then open D, and then the 5th fret of the B string. So the whole thing. And then from there, it goes into sort of a tremolo style picking in 3/4 timing. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hey, what's up? So I realized while I was editing my video that a certain portion of it got deleted somehow, so I have come to the park to take up from where I left off. It's a little too late to record at the apartment now, so here I am. Where were we? The first verse, tremolo picking. I think that's what it's called. My music theory is terrible. Alright, so this whole section of the verse is played on the top 3 strings between the 4th fret and open. The first riff goes like this. Put your ring finger or pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. I hope you can hear me. And then your index finger on the 1st fret of the low D string. So those 2 notes. So it's, like I said, 3/4 timing, and you're playing, I think, 4 notes per beat. Yeah, you're gonna start on this note right here. You're gonna hit it twice. And then so I'm just gonna play it for you now slowly, and just listen to it first. Okay, but you are gonna have to involve this note as well. It's the 1st fret of the high D string, and you're gonna alternate between this note and this note. So and then the second chord is put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and your pinky finger on the 4th fret of the high D string, and then the low D string is open. And you're going to do the same picking pattern. But you're going to do it right here where I just said. And I can't remember if I mentioned, I'm muting a lot of strings when I do that. So when I'm hitting that note, with this hand I'm actually hitting like the top 3 or 4 strings, but I'm muting them with my other fingers, just subtly pressing down on them so they don't give off any sound. And that's a technique that it's kind of hard to teach. It just sort of happens over time when you become more familiar with playing guitar. So I hope I taught that section well enough. Okay, back to the apartment for the next part. And then it goes to the second half of the verse, which is also tremolo picking, but you're going to be changing notes every 2 picks, like every 2 beats. Starting on the 5th fret of the high D string, and then the 8th fret of the low D string, and then just down 1 fret. So take your pinky finger off and put your ring finger down. So that's the first 3 notes, and then the second 3, you're starting from where you left off here, that note. You're just gonna flatten your ring finger so that now you're pressing down the same fret, the 7th fret, but of the A string. So you're going from the 7th fret of the low D to the 7th fret of the A string. I should mention also that I learn everything by ear, so there's a chance that not everything I'm playing is exactly what Brent Hines or Bill Kelleher are playing. It's just what I'm playing, it's what I hear, and I like to make my covers unique, so I don't learn tabs usually. I just learn by ear how it makes me feel, and then I translate it in my own style. Although this could be what he's playing, I don't even know. So yeah, those notes. So taking off from there, you're gonna push back down on the previous fret, the 7th fret of the low D string, and then you're just going to open it, but you're going to pluck it twice. So all those notes together. Play it how I'm playing, like start slowly, because if you rush and you want to play it like that right from the get-go, you might develop some bad habits and never really be able to play those notes clearly. So start slow. Okay, and then the next part goes like this. Same pattern, you're only hitting the notes 2 times each. Starting from the 3rd fret of the high D string with your pinky finger, and then put your index finger down on the 1st fret of the A string, and then open, and then go up to the 5th fret of the low D string, and then slide up to the 7th fret, and then open. So all together. So those 2 parts sound like this together. But you do each of them twice. Alright, so it goes directly from that part into the chorus, which is played like this. Open, low D string, middle finger on the 8th fret of the A string, index finger on the 7th fret of the D string, pinky finger on the 10th fret of the G string. So just listen to the rhythm for a sec. So it's like down, up, and then you can either palm mute or you can just mute. And then there's a little picky part, which is like 7th fret of the high D string, hammer on to the 10th fret, same string, and then index finger 7th fret of the high D string, and pinky finger on the 9th fret of the G string, and you're just going to slide from there to the 10th and 12th. So from this note, hammer on to 10, and then do that chord and slide up, and then back, and then open. You can do the D, G, B strings open, or just the D and the G. So pull off. So that whole part together. And then it goes into a power chord basically on the 7th fret. The top 2 strings you're going to hold down. You're going to bar the top 2 strings with your index finger on the 7th fret, and you're going to put your pinky finger or ring finger, I always say one or the other, whatever makes you comfortable, on the 9th fret of the high D string, and same pattern. So and then there's a little picky part before you go back into the beginning of the chorus, which is 7th fret of the low D string, hammer on to the 8th fret, so, and then index finger 7th fret of the A string, slide down to the 5th, pluck it again, slide back up, so. You can also, instead of sliding back up, you can just pull off. I like to do lots of pull-offs and hammer-ons. It just sounds cool to me, so you could do it like this. So. Or. And then start again. And then then right before it goes back into the tremolo style verse again, it goes like this. 5th fret, the top 3 strings, bar them all. And then put your pinky finger on the 7th fret of the G string. Same pattern as this part. And same as this. But you're doing it 2 frets down. So the whole thing really quickly. And then back into that verse. And then after you go through that verse again, which is identical to the first time, you go into the chorus again, which is also identical to the first time, or at least pretty much. Only the second time that you come out of the chorus, it goes into sort of a melodic, psychedelic bridge part. So that is played like this. The first 5 things that you pluck are open. So low string, A string, high D, back to the A string, and then open G. And then after you pluck that G, you're gonna hammer on the 1st fret of the G string. And then you're going to pluck the B string open. And then you're going to pluck this 1st fret again. And then you're going to put your ring finger or middle finger down on the 2nd fret of the B string. And then pluck that 1st fret of the G string again. And then open B. Pluck this again, and then open, and then hammer on, and then 3rd fret of the D string, the high D string, and then open G. So very slowly, that whole thing. Then you're going to do that same thing basically, only you're going to finish it up here. So that would sound like this. And that's basically you're just sliding up to the 5th fret on the B string, and then hammering on the 6th fret, and then putting your index finger down on the 6th fret of the string right above it, the G string, and then you're plucking the open E string to finish it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the whole thing. So you do both of those parts twice. And then it goes into this sort of droning melody leading up to the climax of the song, which is kind of like the chord that the song begins on. Kind of like that, only you're going to put your index finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and you're going to play these both D strings, the low and the high, open, and your pinky finger on the 8th fret of the G string. And you're just going to alternate between those strings. Now you're going to slide down to the 1st fret of the A string with your index finger. and you're going to put your pinky finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and you're going to play the high D string open. So down, down, up, up, and then middle finger on the 1st fret of the B string, right there. Again, index finger, 1st fret of the A string, open D, and then pinky finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then pluck that open D again, and then index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then pluck the 2nd fret of the G string again. And you play that 4 times through. And then back to that 1st chord. And then back down. Okay, now you're going to do a bar chord on the 1st fret. You're going to bar the first 3 strings. Ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the G string, and your pinky finger down on the 4th fret of the B string. It might be kind of difficult, but you're going to have to bar all the way down to the high E, because that's the last note. So you're going to start from that low D string, and then the high D, and then the 4th fret, and then the 5th fret. And you're going to come back up 2 strings, so it's going to sound like this. And then pluck that high E string and come back up. Then pluck the 4th fret where your pinky finger is and come back up 2 strings. Thing sounds like this. And you're going to play that 4 times through. And then after that, you're going to slide your index finger up to the 2nd fret of the D string, and you're going to put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high D string. This string, the G string, is going to be open. Put your pinky finger down on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Should sound like that, and you're not playing the A string, you're muting that out. And then from there, you're going to do a bar chord on the 5th fret, and you're going to hold down all 3 of the top strings. And then the G and the B strings, these 2, they're going to be open. And you're going to put your ring finger down on the 5th fret of the high E string. So it's going to sound like that. And this section I like to strum rather than pick. So you're going to go from the picking section from here into a strum up here on the chord I just showed you. It's going to go from this chord up to the 7th fret, barring these 3 strings. And the G string is going to be open. You're going to put your ring finger down on the 8th fret of the B string. You're going to leave the high E open. So from here, and then you're going to slide up 1 fret, barring these 3 strings. And this time you're going to put your ring finger on the 9th fret of the G string. but you're going to mute the B string and you're going to leave the high E string open. So the B string is going to be silent. You're going to let the high E ring out. Mute the B string with the underneath of your ring finger, and you're going to leave the high E open. Now you're going to do a bar chord on the 5th fret and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the G string and your pinky finger on the 8th fret of the B string. And you're going to move that same formation down 1 fret and then back up and then up 2 frets and then down 3 frets. So and then you're going to do that exact same thing, only this time you're going to add your middle finger to the 6th fret of the high E string. So that same chord, but now you're making it a minor bar chord by adding that note. Down 1 fret, and then back, up 2 frets, and then down 3 frets. Only for that part, I like to do more of like a faster strumming pattern, like so it's like this. And then it goes into a sort of heavy breakdown part, which goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a power chord starting on the A string, 1st fret, pinky finger 3rd fret of the D string. Now open A, middle finger 2nd fret of the D string, so, and then back, and then slide up 2 frets, and then back down 2 frets, and slide back up again, and then open D, 5th fret, A string, 7th fret, D string. So all together. And then the same thing again. Only this time it doesn't stop here. It goes like this. So 5, and then slide down to 3rd. Back up to the 5th, then 6th, and then 5th, and then one more time back down and back up. So that whole thing really slowly. And then the last time, just like that. And then back to the original chorus riff. So the last time. And then just repeat the chorus. And then the song ends just like this. So I hope that helps you out. I hope it wasn't overly thorough. I felt like I went pretty slow and dissected it quite a lot, but maybe that's a good thing. Great job.